Most people spend their Sunday evening doing one of two things. They are either numbing themselves with Netflix to forget that Monday is coming, or they are lying in bed with a crushing sense of anxiety known as the Sunday scaries. You know the feeling. It's that heavy weight in your chest because you have a vague, overwhelming mountain of tasks waiting for you, and you have absolutely no plan on how to climb it. You're entering the week as a passenger, waiting to see where the wind blows you. But while the world is drowning in dread, the most productive people in the world are doing something almost everyone else skips. They aren't working on Sunday, but they are winning. They spend exactly 30 minutes performing a specific ritual that saves them at least 10 hours of wasted busy work later in the week. This is the CEO method, and it is the difference between starting your Monday in a defensive, reactive crouch and starting it in a high-speed offensive sprint. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why your current to-do list is failing you and give you the step-by-step framework to master your schedule in 30 minutes or less. If you want to stop feeling like a victim of your calendar and start feeling like the architect of your life, pay close attention. To understand why the CEO method works, you first have to understand the trap you are currently in. Most people start their Monday by opening their email or checking their messages. The second you do that, you have lost your sovereignty. You are now responding to other people's priorities, other people's emergencies, and other people's schedules. You spend your most valuable morning energy on shallow work because you haven't decided what your deep work is yet. This is the reactive trap. Because you didn't plan the week on Sunday, you are forced to plan it on Monday morning when your brain should be building. You're using your peak cognitive energy to make low-level administrative decisions about what to do, rather than actually doing it. This leads to decision fatigue before lunch. By the time you finally sit down to do something important, your brain is already fried. You spend the rest of the week putting out fires and wondering why you never have time for your own goals. The CEO method ends this cycle. It moves the decision-making to Sunday, so Monday can be dedicated entirely to execution. There is a biological reason why an unplanned week feels so heavy, and it's called the Zeigarnik effect, a psychological phenomenon where our brains remember uncompleted or interrupted tasks much better than completed ones. When you have 20 things you need to do floating around in your head without a specific time or place to do them, your brain keeps refreshing those tasks in your short-term memory. It's like having 50 browser tabs open in the background of your mind. This background noise creates a constant state of low-level stress. It drains your RAM and makes it impossible to focus on the task in front of you. The CEO method acts as a mental shut-down command for all those open tabs. By identifying your priorities and assigning them to specific blocks of time, you give your brain permission to stop worrying about them. You aren't just organizing a calendar. You are performing a neurological disk cleanup that restores your brain's processing power. This is why disciplined people feel so calm. They don't have fewer problems, they just have a better filing system. The first 10 minutes of the CEO method is the brain dump. You need a physical piece of paper or a clean digital document. You're going to write down every single thing that is currently taking up space in your head. Every project, every email you need to send, every errand, and even every someday idea. Don't worry about order or importance yet. Just get the data out of your internal storage and onto the page. This is where you realize how much mental leakage you've been living with. Most people find they have between 30 and 50 open loops running at any given time. No wonder you feel exhausted. By seeing it all on paper, you strip these tasks of their power. They are no longer a mountain, they are just a list of items. This clears the mental desktop so you can actually begin the work of a CEO. Prioritizing. Remember, a CEO doesn't do everything. A CEO ensures the right things get done. Now that you have your list, it's time for the most critical part of the process. The 3 MIT, most important tasks method. Look at your brain dump and ask yourself one question. If I could only accomplish 3 things this entire week that would move the needle on my long-term goals, what would they be? These are your big rocks. Everything else on your list is sand. If you fill your week with sand first, the emails, the small errands, the minor fixes, you will never have room for the big rocks. But if you place the big rocks in the jar first, the sand will naturally fill in the gaps around them. Most people fail because they try to treat 30 things as priorities. If you have 30 priorities, you have 0 priorities. The CEO method forces you to choose your battles. These 3 MITs are non-negotiable. They are the only things that truly matter. Everything else is just busy work masquerading as progress. Once you have your 3 MITs, you need to put them on the calendar. But here is the secret. Don't just time block, energy block. Time management is a lie because all hours are not created equal. An hour of work at 9 a.m. when your brain is sharp is worth 5 hours of work at 4 p.m. when you are crashing from caffeine. Identify your deep work zones, the windows of time when your energy and focus are at their absolute peak. For most people, this is the first 4 hours of the workday. You're going to schedule your 3 MITs into these deep work zones. No meetings, no calls, and no quick questions allowed during these blocks. You are matching the highest value tasks to your highest value energy. You relegate the sand, the admin, the emails, the shallow work, to your low energy zones. This is how you achieve elite output without working 16-hour days. You aren't working more. You're working smarter by aligning with your biology. The final 5 minutes is where most planning systems fail. Most people plan a perfect week where nothing goes wrong, but life is chaotic. People will call you, emergencies will happen, and tasks will take longer than you thought. If your schedule is packed back-to-back, one single delay will ruin your entire week, leading to stress and abandonment of the plan. The CEO method incorporates buffer blocks. These are 30 to 60-minute blocks of unstructured time placed strategically throughout your week, usually in the late afternoon. These blocks are for the unexpected. They are the overflow valves for your schedule. If a task runs over, it goes into the buffer. If an emergency arises, it goes into the buffer. If everything actually goes according to plan, you use the buffer for extra rest or to get ahead on next week. By planning for chaos, you ensure that chaos can't break your discipline. You are building a schedule that is anti-fragile. You are watching this and you might think, I'll do this tomorrow morning. Stop. That is the implementation gap. The difference between the 1% and the 99% is that the 1% act while the information is fresh. And if you wait until Monday morning to plan, you have already lost the most productive hours of your week to decision-making. The CEO method isn't about being organized. It's about sovereignty. It's about deciding that your goals are more important than other people's requests. When you enter Monday with a CEO-level plan, you don't have to find motivation. You just have to follow the instructions you gave yourself on Sunday. You have already won the war before the first shot is fired. This 30-minute investment is the highest ROI activity you will perform all week. It turns a week of chaos into a week of control. When you start using the CEO method, something strange will happen. You will stop feeling busy. As we've discussed before, disciplined people aren't busy. They are focused. Whose busyness is often just a form of lazy thinking and indiscriminate action. When you have a plan, you have the power to say no with grace and yes with conviction. You will find that you have more time for your family, your health, and your rest. Because you're getting the big rocks done in your peak energy windows, you don't have to grind until midnight to feel productive. You can shut down your computer at 5 p.m. with a clean conscience, knowing that you did the things that actually mattered. The CEO method doesn't just save your week, it saves your mental health. It ends the spectator mindset and turns you into a high-performance creator. I want to challenge you right now. I don't want you to think about this method. I want you to perform it this Sunday. Set a timer for 30 minutes. Do the brain dump, pick your 3 MITs. Energy block them and add your buffer blocks. I want you to be honest with yourself in the comments below. What is the one big rock task that you have been pushing off for weeks because you were too busy with shallow work? Name it. By writing it down, you are making a commitment to yourself and this community that this task will be your priority this week. If you are ready to take back control of your life, I've built a specific roadmap for the 7 invisible habits that are currently stealing your focus. That video is on your screen right now. Watch it next to see exactly where your time is leaking so you can plug the holes before your Sunday session begins. Subscribe to join the 1% who choose strategy over stress. The week is coming. Will you be the passenger or will you be the CEO? I'll see you in the next one.